Hi there, and thank you for tuning in to Mike Caston and Peter Abrahamson talking about mental health or mental ill health, whatever the case may be, in the legal profession. Mike is a lawyer, and I am the psychologist and the therapist, and we pick up themes that are either topical or themes that we've been thinking about for a while and think, yeah, we need to dust this one off and repeat the message. So the one for now is what we would call the perfect lawyer. Actually, does the perfect lawyer exist? Does perfect even exist? And what do people mean when they talk about the perfect lawyer?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, to be perfect, of course, is something I think we all strive for. Like, we want to be good at what we do. We want to be good people. But I think when we talk about the perfect lawyer, we talk about perfectionism, and when that desire can actually really get in the way of things and cause problems.
Mhm.
And I think perfectionism is one of those sort of personality traits or like cultural traits that you often hear attributed to lawyers. Like, lawyers supposed to be you're supposed to be the smartest person in the room. You're supposed to have the answers. And I think that creates this desire to always try and be perfect and, maybe try and always know the answer.
I think you're hitting on something important there, Mike, because you are expected to be perfect. Because someone like me, who is a service user of lawyers, expect perfection.
Mm,
Because there's a lot riding on this. It may be a contract, it may be conveyancing, it may be all sorts of things that I would expect to get the perfect result.
sure.
And then when I put that pressure on you, the lawyer, you feel the need to be perfect. And we tend to go for professions that suit our personality.
Mm,
So you probably will find that most lawyers are tending towards perfectionism because they have a wonderful eye for detail.
right.
And detail is the name of the game, isn't it? You review documents, you hold this up against the other, and you figure out what's right and what's wrong. So the tendency is there to go for perfection, but perfection doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, I mean, while it sounds great in theory, it actually causes a lot of problems, because I think when you are trying to be perfect, like you said, perfection doesn't exist. We can, of course, do our best and put our best foot forward and try and find the best, most creative solution. And, sometimes in law, it's oppositional. You have two sides both trying to do that. And so, there is no perfect. And then, I mean, I think also it causes, sort of this sometimes negative results, where you don't ask for help, or you don't admit when you don't know something, or when there's uncertainty,
Mm.
and hold things in. And it's my experience, both personally and talking to people, that can really adversely affect, like, not only results, but your own sort of mental health and wellness.
Absolutely. I'm testament to perfectionism being a bad thing for you, because that was in the end what drove me to wanting to take my own life back in the day. But it was also what saved me, because I didn't want to be accused after my death of not having tried everything. So that is the only reason why I went and found another therapist. And she happened to be one who helped me get over this depression that it turned out that I had. I didn't know that. But I was just so unhappy about myself, my own performance. Everything I did wasn't good enough. And then towards the end, I just didn't want to be accused of not having tried everything. So I put the suicide on hold. Um, and then it became irrelevant because I found a very good therapist. But the first one I had was useless. So
Yeah.
you have to go and ask for help, because nobody is actually perfect. But what I think we could do instead is to think about, well, perfection doesn't exist, but excellence does.
Mm,
So if we go for excellence, we are not fighting to get that last percent at the top of already brilliant work that nobody sees, nobody cares about, and only the perfectionist feels the pain of getting there, and for no particular reason, because the recipient doesn't even know.
yeah, I think that's a great point. And I mean, thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry you went through that. But it is really interesting that, how we frame it matters so much and is so powerful, because you can, if you frame it in a way where it's perfectionism and, oh my God, I have to know this, I have to do this, I hold it in, that can lead to negative results and even suicidality. Whereas if you frame it as, I want to deliver excellence, and I owe it to myself and to my clients to talk to other people and find the next solution and keep trying, then you can like harness that same urge in a positive way. And I think that's just such a powerful thing.
It is a powerful thing, because then you're being seen as a lawyer as also being a human being. And at the end of the day, people relate to other humans. They don't relate to a job title or a nice suit. And in my practice as a counselor, I sometimes tell my clients, I don't have all the answers, because I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody does. And is it really? But you're the, yes, I am. But now listen to this. I do not have all the answers. Nobody does. Because as soon as you have one answer, there could be another perspective, another idea. So you have to be open to consider all of those. And of course, in a legal context, there comes a point where you have to say, okay, this is the final draft. This one goes to print, this one goes to the client.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's so true. I mean, and it is like we were saying about how you frame it, and and I think that, like you were saying, that you can harness this in positive ways, and you can harness it in negative ways. And a lot of times we see perfectionism, going too far where it tends to be negative. It's a bit counterintuitive, but I think, like the example you gave, you could say like, I'm going to demand excellence and we're going to do the best that we can. And that, I think, is all anyone can ask for, no matter what your profession is, right? We're going to get through this together. We're going to leave no stone unturned. We're going to work through this together and do the best that we can possibly do. But you never want to let sort of striving for perfection be the enemy of, good.
Perfection is actually the enemy of good. You're absolutely right. But also, if you are a lawyer in a law firm and you personally have this perfectionistic streak in you, but you also have colleagues and superiors who demand their version of perfection, you never agree what perfection is. It's just that big black cloud hanging over you. Perfection, perfection, perfection.
Yeah.
So my recommendation would be to agree what good looks like.
Mm-hmm.
What does excellent look like?
Yeah.
Because if you all have the same yardstick, you can aim for the same quality. But if you're just running on perceptions and assumptions, then eventually you will have a big argument within the law firm. Well, this is crap work. No, it's not. It's perfect because I think it is. Yeah, but I don't think it is. And, it just ends up in a big mess.
Yeah, it can create stress within teams, right, where people have different visions of it, and also within yourself. So I think it's worth having that discussion within a team setting, and also with yourself about, right, what does excellence look like, what does success look like, and not just sort of relentlessly driving to be perfect, because you're never going to get there.
And what I found is, from my lawyer clients who come to me with this perfection problem, they think that if they don't aim for perfection, that they have become sloppy, lazy. It's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a completely distorted view of what good or what excellent looks like. And that's something we have to learn, that, yeah, we can do it great. And our job is to critique other people. So if we can do that, how come we can't be critiqued? How come, who decides what is perfection?
Yeah.
And nobody has that power. Nobody has that crystal ball which says, there it is, nailed it, it's perfection. No.
Yeah, and I think, like we were saying, it's really all about framing. It seems like such a subtle, simple thing, but how you frame it to yourself matters. It's going to drive whether you're happy, whether you're ultimately really successful for clients, or whether you're just always going to be in a state of misery, which doesn't really help anyone.
I just think if you confidently deliver what you do, if you confidently ask the questions you ask, say, I've done this, I've got a couple of questions, I need to make sure that I've covered all the bases, then you have totally avoided the term perfectionism, but you're still striving to do an excellent job. And I think at this point, it might be great to see or hear if those who are watching this video have some examples, some experiences that they can share with us, so we can get this conversation going further than just you and I, because it's huge out there in the legal profession and in others.
Absolutely agree. So yeah, thanks for having this conversation, and really look forward to what other folks are thinking and what they can share so we can keep it going.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to the comments. Take care.